Hello, hello everyone. So we are still happy to be here today with you. We are Marie and Mark, Braille consultant for the Lego Foundation. And today is the last pre-Braille hands-on webinar. So we are going to play with two pre-Braille activities from the category called Constellation. First, a quick reminder of where to find the activities. So activity section today is about Constellation, and we will talk about the Braille cell, discover it, how studs are arranged into columns, learn how to differentiate the studs, and we hope that with these 15 activities, children will have a full knowledge of what is a Braille cell and a deep understanding of the relationships between the dots and everything in it. So you have activities like find two studs bricks. You have activities with a hula hoop, with egg carton boxes. You have activities using dice. We're going to have one today, and even a swing activity where you're gonna cut an egg carton to make a swing cell to teach the children how to go from a regular Braille cell to the position of the fingers to type Braille on a typewriter. Okay, so today we're gonna start, Mark, with 6-car parking lot.
Okay, so this activity is about performing multiple steps to relate and rank number 1 through 6 in the Braille cell and park in the right spot. So you will see that there is a lot of steps in this activity, even it's for young one for pre-Braille. So we are going to go straight away to the how to prepare section. So here on the slide, you have an overview of all the activity sheet, and we are going to start by the how to prepare, and then you will see step by step the preparation and then the activity itself. So for those of you who would like to make this activity, this one will be possible today. The other one, I'm not sure you will be able to practice
We'll
it.
see.
We'll see, but this one is, you can do it. You just need to have one base plate, all the bricks, the toolkit with all the bricks. And if you don't have Braille bricks, you can use regular bricks. You need 24 regular bricks. And then it's written 2 dice, but we can roll the dice. So if you don't have dice, that's fine. So I'm going to show you the video of the preparation. Then we will have another look at a tip that is also about preparation. So you can start preparing if you want, and if you can prepare and listen at the same time. So in this video, so that's Mary who is preparing the activity, and you just have to make a column separating the base plate into 10 parts and 2 rows that separate the base plate into 3 parts. So that is to say that you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like the Braille cell, of course. So what we can say here is that the idea of the whole thing is to split the base plate into 6 parts. And as you have noticed, as you have to make 2 crosses, we have a problem, we can say, because some of the bricks are not fit exactly on the base plate. So, for example, the plus, the white plus and the number 7, that's French bricks, but are outside, we can say a little outside the base plate, and that's fine, that's really not a problem. The idea is just for you to make a frame looking like this. So now we are going to watch a little video of 2 boys. So you don't know them yet. They are older than the other one that we have already met during this week of presentation. So they are Elias, it is the tallest one. I think that's your too noisy.
Oh, sorry.
So Elias is the tallest one, and he is partially sighted, but he cannot read regular regular letters, we can say. So he is a Braille reader. And the other one, who is the same, they are the same age, they are 14, both of them, and he was born blind. So let's have a look at what they are doing with Mary, and then we will comment about what they were doing.
Pour les petits, c'est moi qui fais, mais du coup, tu as un grand trait vertical. Et après, je vais en mettre 2 pour séparer, avoir 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Ok. Tu as suivi, Elias, ou
Oui,
je te
oui.
montrerai. Du coup, je
Moi,
fais
j'ai
sur le
suivi.
bord. Super. Alors, j'ai fait ce que j'aimerais. Alors, vous pouvez garder le modèle.
Ah ouais, c'est bien, ça fait genre, ça fait comme une croix.
C'est ça.
So first of all, what you have to understand is that as the activity is written on the website, the teacher is preparing the frame and the child is just practicing the activity. But as they are older, we decided that they can help us and make the frame. And even if they are not very young, 14, as I said, they had trouble making this thing. So that's something that's really important and that we have to have in mind. But why we can say why it is important also to make the child make his own frame. It will be much more easier for him to understand how the frame is constructed and also where to find information and then afterwards to place the bricks correctly. So I don't know if you've noticed, but Noah, when he was building the column, he has trouble building it straight, we can say. And really, once again, that's something that is important. It can be seen as easy as for an adult, for example, or for a child who has low vision, but not totally blind. It can be easy for him to follow a line or a row, but not if you are totally blind. So that's really something we have to have in mind. And we can imagine that, of course, it was the first time that Noah was playing with those bricks, but we should have imagined that even if he is 14, he will have to practice maybe manipulation activities and to have more abilities using the bricks. So here we can say that the preparation itself can be a good activity. We can have maybe more than 10 activities just with this preparation, because it can be a good idea, we can say, for practicing to make a row, to make a column, but also if you want to work on the child to understand what is a double entry table, for example. That's a good way to learn and to have a real one, not just one with raised lines. Also, if you want to work with fraction, you can divide into 2 equal parts the base plate and understand that they are what is one half, what is 1/3, and so on. And also you can work geometry and symmetry quite simply here. You just have to split the base plate into 2 columns and then put a brick and add another one exactly positioned the same way but symmetrically. So that is to say that just with one activity and just the preparation of this activity, you can have a lot of different ideas to make new ones. So we can have a look directly to the activity. So I'm just going to show you the video and we talk afterwards.
Dans notre garage, on a 1, 2, 3, 4,
5, 6.
Allez, go.
Alors, 5 passagers, je dois prendre. Et le deuxième, je dois la mettre sur la place numéro... C'est celui-là 4. Alors, je dois prendre 5. Je dois trouver avec 5 déjà. Donc, c'est bon. Hop. Ça fait 5. Alors, plus qu'un, par exemple. Du coup, je dois le déplacer sur la voiture 4.
La place 4.
Oui. Oh, par contre, ils sont durs à démonter. Merci. C'est bon.
Super.
Une.
Wow.
Cherche la voiture, moi, cherche la voiture.
Ah, Ah, j'ai trouvé. Alors, et 3, sur la place numéro 3. C'est bon.
Okay. Once again, we can say that you can see that it's very difficult sometimes to remove the bricks. So that's really something we repeat. That's when the bricks are very new, that's difficult to remove. So they really have to practice to be able to remove it and not to spend the bricks everywhere. So first thing that is important is, so we imagine that you have prepared your framework at home or wherever you want, and you arrive at school and you give it to the child. So like Maria has done, she had, during the presentation, she had taken times to let the child discover. So she took Noah's hand and lets him discover. And during all the explanation, you have seen Noah's hand moving everywhere in the base plate. And that really, of course, something that is needed if you want him to understand the activity and what is we can say the situation of the problem. And also one thing that is really important here is usually this activity can be done with a peer, a sighted peer, for example, and of course, the sighted peer will have a quick overview of the frame and he will really quickly understand what is the thing about, but not the Braille reader, because of course, if you're a Braille teacher or if you're used to that, you know that, but it's really something that we have to take into consideration and to let time to explore the base plate. And it can take sometimes a long time, because he needs to explore step by step and just to have the information of what is under his finger, and then to, we can say, rebuild in his head the whole framework. And sometimes it can take a long time for that. So just for you to know, it can be just the activity of one day just to discover what is on the base plate. And that's also a good thing to, like we have said yesterday about discovering a page, a sheet of paper. It can be the base plate and you have to explore the base plate. So one other trick that is important, and we know that some of you have already used that trick, is to use the lid of the toolkit, of the box, the plastic ones. And it can be a tray, and that can be very useful. For example, if you roll dice, so as the edge are a little up, so we can say the bricks or the dice won't fall apart, and that's really useful. So you don't need to have another tray; you just can use the lid of the toolkits, and that's great. Also, as you have seen, it's a very complex activity because you have two dice. So first, if you roll one die, it will give you information about the number of passengers of the car. So that means that the child has to understand that the bricks is representing a car and that the studs are representing passengers. We can say that usually they agree with that, and that's easy for them to understand that. But that's not because they will have understood that it will be easy to find in the box the relevant number of passengers on the bricks. So also, we have suggested at the beginning to make the activity with the whole toolkit, but it can be also a good idea to select a few bricks and put them in a bowl so that they won't have to explore the whole things at the beginning of when they do the activity for the first time. So the second die is for, will indicate where to place the car in the parking lot. So from 1 to 6, so that of course represents the Braille cell, and they have to understand where is not dot 1, dot 2, dot 3, and so on. And I don't know if you have noticed, but in the video, when Noah was doing the activity, he had taken 5 passengers, and that was correct. And we don't know why, but his strategy, we can say, was to put the car with 5 passengers in the 5th place on the parking lot, and then roll the dice and take away this brick and place it correctly in number 4. We don't know why he have chosen that, but it can be a strategy, whatever. Of course, they can keep the car in their hands and then afterwards they can do whatever they want. They have to find strategy, and that's what is good also here. Yes, so maybe we can take just a few minutes to play. So we have the dice, so I'm going to roll the die. So so we are just going to play once, so you have just once chance to play. So the first one will indicate the number of passengers. So that's like bingo. That's number 2. And usually when you do that, a yellow die with white is not a good idea to do that in a computer.
Yes, but I think you've heard that all the box of die fall down.
Yeah,
so they are all around the room.
That was the only one. So now we have 2 passengers in our car.
Yes, I have a letter B.
Okay.
With 2 passengers.
Okay, I hope you have it at home. And where to place it, that will be in number 5.
Okay.
And that's a thing that is also important, is that of course the child must have the ability to read what is written on the die, which is not the same constellation of dots, of course. So that can be also difficult. So I hope maybe you can show us what you have done. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 2 passengers because it's letter B.
We have a lot of them.
Yeah. And Danielle loves to have the same color bricks every day. Not every day, she changed, but she loves to have, that's yellow today.
Nice.
Okay, great. So we are just going to speak about the number of participants. That's written 1 participant. And as we have already said, that's in pre-Braille activity, when we write 1 participant, that means that the activity can be done by a child alone. But of course, that not means that they cannot play or do the activity with other ones. And this one especially it's great to do that in pairs, for example. So we can imagine every kind of thing. They can share the base plate. They can have 2 base plates. One can roll the first die, the second can roll the second die. Or we can imagine also, we've tried that with a whole class with only 1 blind child, and there were 6 of them playing at the same time. So in fact, we didn't use base plates. We didn't have that much base plate, but we use end carton boxes so that they can realize that it was the parking lot, and they had to put the bricks in the correct place. And 1 person, like in bingo, we can say, 1 person was rolling the die. And it was, they had fun doing that, and it was great. So that's really a game that, of course, you can do alone, but with a lot of child, and it works very well. It leads us to the did you know? So I'm going to read it because that's a very important thing about social. So social interaction is a powerful tool for both learning and play. By communicating their thoughts, understanding others through direct interaction and sharing ideas, children are not able to enjoy being with others. We are not only able to enjoy being with others, but also to build deeper understanding and more powerful relationships. And so that was just to say that you can see also in the skills that one of them is social, that's follow the rules, take turns. And it's not because it's written one participant in an activity that it cannot have a social, it cannot be socially interactive anyway. Okay, so now your turn. So the activity will be more physically engaging, we can say. That's your turn, Mary.
So this one is called Body Braille Twister. And again, we're going to learn the constellation of dots, but with a gross motor skill activity, a physical activity, in fact. That's why we said that maybe it will be difficult for you to play it at home. How to prepare it? You need one base plate, 5 different bricks, 1 ball. That's okay, but we also need 6 different texture discs, minimum 8-inch diameter. And we will arrange the 6 discs on the floor like a Braille cell and tape them, then place the bricks in the ball. So we have, giant disc made of plastic with different textures on it. So I'm gonna have several ones like that. So I used 6 of them. I only had 5, so I had to make new ones, but you can use whatever you have. It can be recycled material. For example, it can be different type of carpets. In the movie, you're gonna see we had big giant tiles like that. It's too big. I can hide behind it with different texture in the center. But what is important is to have things big enough for foot and hands and elbow to fit in it. And of course, be careful, it can slip. So we need some anti-slip mat or something like that, or double-sided tape, or also adhesive putty, just to be sure you can fix it on the floor and it won't move. It's also possible to make it with hula hoops. I think it's a great idea to tie them together, the 6 hoops, like that they won't fall apart. That's great. And also something that came in our mind, that's simply to use Lego base plates, make an edge, thick edge. So you can do like that. And you can tape them on the floor, the 6. You can make different border, do whatever you want, place something in it, but that's another way to have the 6 cells. Of course, it would be better if it's round like the dots in the Braille cell, but we do what we have, so that can be a solution. Okay, so just it is necessary to indicate for the kids also where the cells begin, and suggest where dot 1 is, in fact. And I suggest to stick a big ball of Play-Doh in the upper left corner of dot 1. And you will see in the video, we have a video with children after that, we had a little issue with our dot 3. It moves a lot, so it would have been preferable to better fix the fabric inside before.
Yeah.
So we are always learning things, and it's going to be improved. So I think now I can share again. That was the giant cell we use, and you see I just placed a big ball of Play-Doh on the top left corner to indicate it is dot 1, and then I have bricks in one ball, and they're gonna play with it. Okay. For some activities in the pre-Braille section, we have what we call preliminary exercises. And it's just to be sure that when it is the first time the kids are going to play this activity, they know exactly what it is. So sometimes it can be the first time you see a giant Braille cell made of discs on the floor. So you need to learn first how it is and how to navigate in it. So that's why we suggest to make this preliminary exercise, and if it is the first time for the kids, or if he's struggling with it, and that can be great to introduce this giant cell. So that's what we are going to do here, to explore it, to move in it from one dot to another. You can ask questions. It's just example of question like, can you place a hand on dot 5? Can you place a foot on dot 3? So you check two things. They know where the dots are, and they know the name of their body parts. Yes, you're going to see in the video, we have 3 kids playing together. So they will stand in one dot, and they have to tell me the number of the dot where they are, and then I'm going to ask them to go to a special one, just to be sure they understand the constellation to this giant Braille cell. Maybe we just can have a look at it. En braille, le 2, il est à côté du 1. Non, il est où?
Je suis dans le 4.
Bravo, super.
Là, c'est 2.
Là, c'est 2.
Là, je suis dans
Là,
le
c'est
5.
3.
Vas-y.
Allez, tout le monde sur le 4.
Boum, boum.
Le 4, le 5 et le 6.
Boum, boum.
Okay, so that was just at the end of the preliminary exercise. And even for them, they are not very young and they are Braille readers, but that was not so easy all the time. So we have to do and to begin with this exercise. Just if it would have been a younger child, I would have gone with him inside the cell and moved very slowly. As Mark told previously, we have to take time, and sometimes a very long time, and it can be just the first lesson with this. The first time we just do the preliminary exercise, move into the giant cell. The next week we can go from one to another and so on. So yeah, we must take time. It's not so easy. Another thing, it can be difficult if it is a very young child with a mirror effect. So maybe it's better at the beginning to face the dot 1 and 3, and then you move back, not turn around, because you won't be, it can be difficult to know which dot is what and how you call it. So you face one and you face the dot 1 and the dot 3, and then you just go back and say 2, 3, then you go to 4, 5, 6, you don't turn. After, when they are bigger and older, that can be a great opportunity to work on this mirror effect and to know if really they are well structured with space. So the let's play, it's simple. You just pick a brick from the ball, you place it on the base plate, you fill the dot on the brick and their pattern. Usually you play, if you play this activity, you don't know yet the letters, so maybe you will not be able to tell the letter, but the dots. So you tell the pattern and the constellation of dots, that's how we call it, and you copy the constellation of dots by touching the corresponding bricks on the floor with different parts of your body, like hands, feet, elbow, and that can be very fun. So it may be really easier for the kids to say out loud the dots number before they touch it, and they tell you the number, so you know they've heard it. And sometimes, if you are just like me, I have to repeat number and to say them out loud to remember them from the brick to the constellation, the big giant cell. And just to say, in the next video, you're gonna see we didn't use the base plate. In fact, the children were all Braille readers, I already told you so, and they were able to tell the letter first, so the constellation of dots, and they didn't need to put the brick on to attach the brick on the base plate, to just fill it. Remember, that was easy and quick for them to take it, read it immediately, remember, and go to the giant cell. So this part was carried out very quickly and no difficulties for them. Look at them. Qui veut commencer? Vas-y, Loris. Cherche une brique, Loris, le bol qui est rouge et qui est à gauche de la cellule posée par terre. Super.
Alors,
Qu'est-ce que c'est?
R.
Et qu'est-ce qu'il y a comme point?
1, 2, 3. 3, 5.
Allez, tu nous fais 1, 2, 3, 5.
Oh, ça va être chaud. Ah oui, très chaud.
Bravo! Qu'est-ce que tu trouves?
Mais là, ça va être dur.
Allez, tu lis. Qu'est-ce que c'est?
1, 3,
1, 3,
4, 6.
4, 5.
Alors,
1, 3, 3 et 4, 5.
Ah non, parce qu'il est dur que ça en fait. 1, 3, 4.
Ça c'est 6?
4.
Ouais.
C'est là le 4.
Ça c'est le 5. Ouais. Bravo.
Un M. Oh là. Ça sent pas bon.
Bravo.
O.
Ouais, c'est quoi les points?
1. O. Simple.
1, 3, 5.
1, 3, 5.
1, 3, 5. Allez.
1, 3. Donc.
Bravo. Est-ce que tu peux me faire, Loris, le point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Si facile que ça. Pas si facile que ça.
Il manque des morceaux là.
Ah. Je peux faire une roulade. Attends.
Okay, so I must say we had fun
Yeah.
this day. Just a few things. I don't know if you noticed, but we had to indicate Loris at the beginning where the ball was. He was really, he wanted to go straight to the activity. And I, in purpose, told him it is a red ball, and I explained where it is. We have to be very careful, I'm sure you know, with the vocabulary and what we tell. So it was in purpose that the ball was red to have a high contrast with the floor and with the blue edges of the tiles, because we knew that two of them had very low vision, but a little bit of it. Okay. And also you may have noticed that Fadi, the littlest one, has some issue with dyslexia. So that's a good opportunity to see this and to observe this. And we know here that it can be great for him to work again with gross motor skills on the spatial notion and relationships and skills, because that will help him with his difficulties at school with reading and writing and learning again these Braille characters. So yes, I'm sure you all saw that they enjoyed it, and they worked, even if they didn't do it, they worked on a lot of skills with that activity. So you have possible variation. You can also change the number of studs, play with peers, and so on. It is yes, easy. It could have been one player is in charge of the left column, the dot 1, 2, 3, another of 4, 5, 6. You can imagine a lot of things. And we had another facilitation tips. At the end, they were all happy to play together in the Braille cell and to imagine on their own new activities and games. So.
Avance, Fadi, mets-toi dans le 5. Et là.
R. H. Ah oui, H.
H. Ah ouais, ouais.
Et si je me mets là?
Vas-y.
F. Bah oui. Pour facile. Et si je me mets là?
Enfin, c'est ça.
Enfin. Oh, le voici. Là, c'est un tiré. Et là, c'est un point virgule. Ouais. Et ça, c'est un point. Si Loris se met ici. Ouais.
Un point comment?
Un point d'exclamation.
So just this video to say that we can observe the activities was iterative. They made a mistake. They thought they were making a R. In fact, it was a H, but they corrected themselves and they did several characters on their own. That was great. Also, I think the activity was meaningful. At one point, they made an F and one of them said, oh, F come Fadi, and Fadi was there. So yeah, that was a of course, meaningful. We saw a lot of joy, I think, social interactions, of course, and a real physical engagement. So for us, that's the perfect example of the playful characteristic, the whole characteristic of playful experiences in this video. So we were happy with it, and they were all happy with it also. So I'm sorry you couldn't play with us today. We were not able to do so either. Okay, so we have only four written skills here: cognitive, use number to show a rank or position, recognize body parts, physical also skills to develop motor skills and build body language, coordinate several motor skills, but of course you have many more and you're free to add the one you think are the most important. Here, again, you know that you can download the activity and do what you want with them. And we have just the did you know section. And the first point is physical engagement using one's body in learning helps to better integrate concepts, especially those related to space. And we know for sure that it's really important to use the body to have that knowledge, that deep and full knowledge of the space and the spatial relationships. And we know that that's how they will have the full understanding of the Braille cell, of its constellation or pattern of dots in a Braille character, and then that will help them with reading and writing in Braille, for sure. And I think that's all for this activity.
We hope to see you next week on Tuesday.
Okay.
Bye.